Hi, friends, and welcome back to the Autism Little Learners podcast. Today's episode is a deeply personal one, and it feels especially meaningful because the day this podcast airs marks 6 years since I lost my dad to acute myeloid leukemia. My dad, Lee Livermore, was one of my favorite people and my biggest fan. Losing him was one of the hardest things I've ever experienced in my life, but his love and encouragement continue to guide me in everything I do. In this episode, I want to take some time to honor my dad's memory and legacy and also celebrate my incredible mom, Mary. They've both had such a profound impact on my life and work. And I want to share stories about how my dad inspired me to start Autism Little Learners. I'll share stories about how my dad inspired me to start Autism Little Learners, how my mom's love for working with kids shaped my passion for early childhood education, and some of the funny, heartwarming memories that remind me of how lucky I am to have their love and support. This is a special tribute to two amazing people who have shaped my journey in countless ways. I hope it inspires you to reflect on the people in your life who have done the same. So let's dive in and celebrate love, family, and legacy together. Hi, I'm Tara, and this is the Autism Little Learners podcast. I am a speech language pathologist with a twist. I've run my own communication-based classroom for over 2 decades, and I'm so excited to share actionable tips and strategies for supporting young autistic children. My goal is to help you feel more confident and successful when teaching your autistic child or students at the early childhood level. If you are ready to learn some tried and true strategies that really work, this is the podcast for you. Let's get started. In March of 2019, I founded Autism Little Learners just 6 weeks after losing my dad to leukemia. My dad, Lee Livermore, was one of my favorite people, my biggest fan, and a man with a heart of service. His passing left a deep void, but it also inspired me to channel my grief into creating something meaningful. Autism Little Learners was born from this heartache, as well as my passion for supporting educators and parents of young autistic children. For 25 years, I worked as a speech language pathologist in the school system. During that time, I noticed a gap in the availability of engaging, age-appropriate resources tailored to 3 to 5-year-old autistic children. Teachers and therapists frequently had to modify materials or waste money on resources that didn't quite meet their needs. I wanted to change that. So I began creating resources for myself. At that time, I didn't know much about selling on Teachers Pay Teachers, but with the help of Google and YouTube, I figured it out and started uploading my materials. What began as a side project quickly grew into something much bigger. When the pandemic hit in 2020, everything changed. Schools closed, and teachers and parents were scrambling to find ways to support their children at home. I started creating free stories to help families navigate big changes brought on by the pandemic, like school closures, mask wearing, and social distancing. These stories were downloaded by tens of thousands of people and shared worldwide. It was an eye-opening experience that revealed just how immense the need was for resources that were not only effective, but also accessible and easy to use. I found myself working around the clock to create these social stories because I knew how much families were struggling. Seeing the positive feedback and hearing how these stories help children understand and adapt to the changes in their world was incredibly rewarding. It fueled my desire to do more, to create more, and to serve this amazing community in bigger ways. By 2021, I realized that resources alone weren't enough. Teachers and parents needed training to go along with the materials. And that's why I launched the Autism Little Learners membership. I wanted to create a space where educators and parents could feel supported, informed, and empowered. This membership has since evolved into a robust platform that provides engaging, neurodiversity affirming resources tailored specifically for young autistic children, especially in that 3 to 5-year-old range. It also includes practical training to help educators and parents implement these strategies confidently. And we have community support where members can connect, share ideas, and learn from one another. There are monthly themes to inspire creativity and provide actionable ideas for classrooms and therapy sessions. In addition, over these last several years, I've developed several courses like Potty Train with Compassion and Visual Schedules Made Easy. And I'm currently working on a new course that focuses on helping educators create neurodiversity affirming self contained classrooms. This new course will combine practical strategies with a deep understanding of how to honor and celebrate each child's unique strengths and needs. In the fall of 2023, I made the difficult decision to leave the classroom and run Autism Little Learners full time. Balancing a full time teaching job and growing a business that needed me full time had become unsustainable. It was a leap of faith, but it was the right choice. By serving educators and parents through Autism Little Learners, I realized that I could have a far greater impact, reaching thousands of children through the adults who care for them than I ever could have within the four walls of my classroom. Leaving the classroom was not easy. I missed the daily interactions with my students and colleagues, but I knew this was the next step in my journey. Running Autism Little Learners full time has allowed me to dedicate my energy to creating resources, hosting training sessions, and building a community of educators and parents who are passionate about supporting young autistic children. It really has been such an amazing honor to do this. In 2024, I hosted the first ever Preschool Autism Summit with over 33,500 attendees. The summit brought together educators, parents, and experts to share neurodiversity affirming strategies and practical tools. The reach of the summit was incredible, impacting tens of thousands of autistic children and reaffirming my mission to create compassionate classrooms and therapy spaces that honor each child's unique strengths and communication styles. The summit was a labor of love. It was born out of a desire to fill the training gap at the preschool level and provide actionable strategies for those working with young autistic children. The response was overwhelming, and it confirmed that there's a huge need for this type of training. Planning is already underway for the 2025 summit, and I'm so excited to continue expanding its reach and impact. One of my core beliefs is that there's room for everyone on the playground. And I learned this motto from Casey Morris from the CEO Teacher Membership. She was one of my first mentors and coaches in the business realm, and she's absolutely amazing. I'm also not afraid to refer my community to other professionals who specialize in specific areas when it comes to autism. For neurodiversity affirming strategies, I often recommend Jesse Ginsberg and Carrie Ebert. For Gestalt language processing, Nicole Casey, Katia Piscatelli, and Alexandria Zakos. They are phenomenal. Lisa Marnell provides invaluable insights on strengths based goal writing, and Rachel Madel is my go to for all things AAC. Collaboration and connection are key to making a lasting impact. This collaborative approach has been transformative for the Autism Little Learners community. By connecting members with professionals in different fields, I've been able to provide a more comprehensive and well-rounded approach to supporting autistic children. It's not about competition, it's about working together to create the best possible outcomes for kids. I can't write about my journey without acknowledging my incredible mom, Mary Livermore. She has been my biggest fan and proudest supporter every step of the way. Growing up, she ran an at home daycare, and her natural talent for working with children made a lasting impression on me. Watching her connect with kids helped inspire my passion for working with young children and eventually pursuing a career in education. She's always been the kindest, most giving person I know, and her easygoing personality makes everyone feel welcome and loved. My mom is always ready for a little adventure, whether it's a simple outing to the movies or a trip to Nashville. She also has the best sense of humor and never fails to crack me up. I also love how she says, "Tara, you're the only person that makes me laugh so hard that I almost pee my pants." One time, one of my former students asked her if she and my dad were ever going to have a baby boy, despite them already having three grown daughters and obviously being past the age of having more kids. My parents had a really great laugh about that. A couple years ago, one of my former students even messaged her on Facebook and asked if he could stop by her apartment to say hi. True to her easygoing nature, she said, "Sure thing," and met him in person for the first time. It's just who she is. kind, approachable, and always making people feel important. Her love and support, along with the love she shared with my dad, have shaped so much of who I am. They taught me the value of family, connection, and laughter. And I'm so grateful to have her cheering me on through every milestone. And of course, I can't forget to mention that she's consistently ranked as my top Facebook fan and follower, which always makes us laugh. I'm so lucky to have her as a mom. Throughout this journey, my dad's love and encouragement have been a guiding force. Before he passed away, he left me a letter that I hold close to my heart. In it, he wrote, "So I'm sure that there have been more accomplishments in your life since I have written this note. I know there will be many more after I'm gone. I will see them, and I will forever be aware of them, and I will be proud of them. I will be proud of you as I always have been. You're one of the most beautiful people on the face of this earth, and I will always love you. If you are reading this, I am now gone from this earth. You can be sure that I am now free from the demons that have haunted me since my year in Vietnam. I tried to hide them from you, shield them from you and your sisters, but I'm not sure I succeeded. I have tried to handle the pain of my experience the best I could and tried not to burden you kids and your mom with my problems. I am so proud of my service to my country. I want to be remembered as a good husband, a good dad, and a good American citizen. I hope that I have lived a good life. I love you. With eternal love and gratefulness to you, Lee Livermore, your dad." These words remind me every day why I do what I do. His love and belief in me continue to inspire my work with Autism Little Learners. By supporting educators and parents, I'm able to carry on his legacy of service, touching the lives of countless children and making the world a little brighter for them, or at least I hope so. As Autism Little Learners continues to grow, I'm motivated more than ever to serve this community. From creating resources and courses to hosting summits and building connections, every step of this journey has been driven by a desire to make a difference. My hope is that Autism Little Learners not only provides the tools and training educators and parents need, but also inspires them to approach their work with compassion, creativity, and confidence. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Together, we're making a difference. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I'm sending a big virtual hug your way because you just finished another episode of the Autism Little Learners podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. If you have had success with any of the strategies that you learned about in this podcast, I would love to hear from you. Send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook at Autism Little Learners. Don't forget to grab your free visual support starter set by going to autismlittlelearners.com/visuals. And always remember to find the good in every day.